guys, get prepared for this big storm. If you're on the East Coast, all the way from North Carolina to West Palm, for Hurricane Matthew, get out. If you have an RV, get out. That's plain and simple. Get the heck out. We've been chasing hurricanes for years in the past. We've been through Gene, Francis, Wilma, Charlie, all of them. We know what this thing can do, and this thing makes all of them look small.
It really does. We have been through so many different hurricanes, and instead of doing our question and answers, we decided to bring you guys some of our information that we know.
Yeah.
To you. Even though people should be hunkered down by now and where they're going to stay for the storm or the duration of the storm, but we figured we would give you some of our information that we know.
Now it can stay offshore. It can stay offshore, and it looks like it's going to. But this thing is so big. If it wobbles, it can wobble 50 miles to 30 miles. 50 miles could be land. The eye wall wobbles around. So when it goes, it doesn't go a straight path. It goes like this. It can start wobbling. And when it gets to land, close to land, it starts to wobble all the time. I have to see it all the time. So it can wobble away from shore, and you guys could be lucky, which is great. And that's what we want it to be. But if it wobbles into shore, 50 miles, there's going to be devastation with this thing. I can tell you right now. It's 140 miles an hour. That's like almost an Andrew.
What's the one that we stayed for?
Gene, Francis.
Which one?
Gene.
Okay, so when we stayed for Gene, is that the one that went up and came back in?
Yeah, Gene actually went up on the east coast of Florida and did a loop, and it slammed into Florida, and that's what they think this one's going to do. By the way,
then I think it went over to Louisiana, right?
Not that one. That's Katrina.
Well,
but anyways,
we were in a lot of hurricanes.
We're in a lot of hurricanes, and we were right in the east coast of Florida where this one's going to hit.
The exact same area. In fact, our in-laws, my in-laws, Ross's mom and dad, actually just left.
Yep, this is Miami Beach behind us live right now, and the waves are getting taller. We just want to...
They're actually surfing still.
Yeah. The thing is we talk to a lot of our neighbors, and a lot of our neighbors are staying home. I don't get it. It's like, if it's a Category 4, it can take your roof off your home.
It can, because my aunt and uncle were in Andrew, and their house was concrete block. They lived in Miami, and their house, they literally heard the roof going...
Yeah, like it's going to come up. It's scary.
It's a scary, scary situation when you're in there.
If it takes your roof off, you got to hang on for life at that point.
And the water that's associated with this is supposed to be really big.
Major. So if you're by the beach, get out. That's it. Don't ride this one out. Go out.
Don't play around.
Yeah, this is dangerous, guys. This is life-threatening storm. This is serious. Now, if it stays offshore, it's not going to be life-threatening. But you're talking 50 miles from life-threatening. That's too much to risk. Because it can wobble. A hurricane can wobble 75 miles this way, 100 miles that way as it goes up. 100 miles is nothing for a hurricane to wobble.
And they also, when they first start telling you about these hurricanes and you're in a hurricane warning or you're in the cone, you should be getting your preparedness already done.
Yeah.
Your food, your water, your gas, all your stuff, and figuring out whether you're staying and preparing your house or you're going to prepare your house and you're going to take off. That should be done 3 days as soon as you find out.
We have family members that are in Florida towards the East Coast, and they're not getting food or nothing, so I don't get it. You're not going to have power. That's another thing. You're going to be without power probably for an entire month in certain spots if this hits hard. If it hits hard.
His mom and dad, when they had the storm, the first one,
Yep.
they were out for, I think, a week or so. The second one, they were out for 2 or 3 weeks, and they came to stay with us because we were on the same grid as the prison.
Right.
So we had electric like right then.
Yeah, but you're comparing this to Gene and Francis back in 2004, right? 5.
What category were they?
They were 2s.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay, they were strong 2s, Gene and Francis. This is a 4.
Well, when it makes landfall, it'll be a 4.
Humongous difference. That's a 2 to a 4 can take a roof off. That's a difference.
And the reason why it's intensifying is because it's going over warm water.
And it's still not even close to land yet, so it can get to a 5. It can happen. They didn't say they're probably not going to do it.
So the other bad issue with this storm is that it's going to hit at night or close to dark.
Yes.
And we've been in storms at night.
It's worse at night. You have no clue what's going on. So all you hear is wow, 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 things slamming. It's scary because you don't know. You can't see the wind speed.
It's a scary situation.
So you don't know if the tree's like bending over like this or bending over and touching the ground. And when a tree's completely touching the ground,
you could do like me and take 2 or 3 Tylenol PMs and let your husband deal with it. That's what I did the first time.
That's probably not good advice. Maybe have a drink or 2.
That's horrible.
Have a drink or 2. Don't. That's bad advice.
I couldn't deal with it. It was too stressful for me, and he was stressed out, and I was freaking out because we couldn't put wooden structures or anything on our windows or our.
If you're a young kid, don't listen to that advice.
Don't listen to that advice, though.
But whole point is just get your act together, because you're not going to have power, and the power is a big deal because everything's going to rot in your refrigerator, food. Everybody doesn't want to leave because it costs a lot of money. And first of all, if you leave today, when this video goes up right now, it's too late.
And don't do like Ross and I did. I knew that we needed to prepare, we needed water, we needed food, we needed this and that, and he told me, don't worry about it, we'll get it afterwards, just get a little bit of stuff. And I'm telling you, a little bit of stuff. Yeah. So I got us chips and sodas, and we didn't eat very good back then. We had a little bit of water. I had some juices, and I think ramen noodles we ate, cold ramen noodles. And then by day 2, we were out of food.
Try to call your neighbors, family members, if you can call anybody back to make sure they can check on your house. I wouldn't recommend coming back right away because it's going to be a nightmare disaster. The National Guard's going to be there. It's just going to be a nightmare trying to get through. They probably won't get through. If you're on an island, you're not getting home.
Okay, so enough of the doomsday stuff. We're going to tell you a little bit about what we think you need to prepare for this storm.
Yes, you need water, gas, and everybody knows that. That's the basics.
Okay, so how much water do they need?
Way more water than you think.
And 2, after the storm, they'll probably have relief efforts down there handing out cases of water. That's what they had for us.
Right.
We would go and get it, and it was helpful for us because, I mean,
we
could take showers, but we couldn't drink it.
We got like 15 cases of huge water, and we actually were handing them out to people afterwards. Because
I think they gave us like a case a day or something.
Yeah, I had bought like 55 gallons of water, like sipper gallons. And I just said, I don't need all this water, so I went out and handed it to people that need. I went out to like sections that they didn't have much, and I went and handed it to them. I didn't hand it to, the rich that, could afford it, that they didn't want to go get it because they were stubborn. I gave to the people that didn't have anything, and I went and did it.
And 2...
Like 10 trips like that, like 15
what you can
cases.
do is your bathtub, fill up all the bathtubs in your house. Make sure you clean them first, but then you can use that for bathing, flushing toilets, things like that.
Yeah, fill up your bathtub with water, and that's the thing. It's almost like, what gets us upset is if you can afford to do it, and you don't do it, then that's a problem. If you can't afford to leave, you can't afford to leave. But if you can afford to leave and
if you can't afford to leave and your house is not a good structure, you should be going to a shelter, renting a hotel, something like that that is more structurally sound than your
You can
house.
actually sleep in your car if you have to. Just get out of the way. Don't stay in the way.
You can actually put your car next to a building and
on the side of
hide next to the building so you don't get the wind.
But that can be bad advice too, because if something comes off the building, it can hit you. It's just a mess. You guys, get away from the high winds. Get away in a flood. Just get away. And then you can come back. I mean, things can be replaced. Let's call you out. Probably all have insurance.
I'm sure we're going to get called out for all this doomsday stuff, but we're just trying to make sure that you guys understand the importance of prepping and having things and,
this is
get
important.
out if you can, and if not, okay, hunker down. Figure out what you need to do. You need to find the most inside room of your house. If you don't have an inside room, find a place behind couches and in between a couch and a wall and put your bed there and just hang out there, because even though you have your windows covered by wood or, your shutters or something else can happen.
Yeah, you got to be careful. And if you have a door that swings in, put some screws and put a board on the other side so it doesn't blow in.
And the other thing is, not only is the hurricane a lot of wind and a lot of rain, but it's a lot of pressure too.
A lot of pressure. Your animals are going to feel that pressure.
They do, and I felt it too. My ears were literally hurting me. I have very sensitive ears, and it was just, I'm telling you, every time I was in a hurricane, it killed me.
On a good note, on a positive note, this probably will stay out to sea because it's really close. So it did move a little bit more out to sea. We just checked on it. But it can move back in. It's not even close to us yet. It's like 300 miles. Not from us.
Which means it's going to hit at night. So that's something that you guys need to take.
And a lot of people watch this from the past on SunCam and everything else. We ran suncam.tv. We used to run all this hurricane stuff. But we're not in the path of this storm. So all our customers and everything, we're not in the path. So we're okay. We are in North Carolina. We're not in the path of the storm.
And that was the other reason for us to do this video.
That's why we did the video.
Because everybody has been calling us and asking
us where we are. How you doing, Russ? The phone hasn't stopped yet.
Yeah. I mean, we've been working a lot, and a lot of our clients are calling us, asking us where we are, what we're doing, if we're safe, if we're this.
Right.
Ross and I are not in Florida. We're in North Carolina.
Yep.
Joe is in Florida, so he's impacted by the hurricane more than we are.
Right.
And yes, Ross and I have family and friends down there. Right. One of the other things we want to tell you about is what to use during the hurricane to help you or your friends.
Let's get some two-way radios because cell phones are not going to work. They're not going to work, right?
Our cell phones were dead for 3 or 4 days.
Get a couple phone chargers, USB things. or the USBs for your car. Make sure you bring all your cords. Bring your laptops so you can watch the radar if you have a laptop. And
make sure all your batteries are charged if you're going to use your
batteries.
laptop. You probably
Start charging
won't have
now.
internet. You might have some internet in the beginning of the storm, but once the things start to pick up, you may lose internet. So you could at least watch some of the news and stuff on the internet.
Another trick is if you go on your cell phone carrier's website, you want to up your gigs a little bit because you're probably going to use more watching the radar and different things and looking at pictures.
Cable.
Don't forget your medications. Don't forget your pets and their medications. And
you need to have at least a week's worth of food for yourself and drink, plus food for your pet and your medications, at least a week's worth.
And if you have a ham radio, amateur radio, bring that. Charge all your batteries. If you have, sometimes these little cheap radios have weather radios on them, like a NOAA weather radio. You want to bring that too.
Sometimes those little black and white camping TVs or camping radios that have a weather radio built into it.
NOAA weather radio.
Those are sometimes the best. I know that we're telling you guys things that you probably can't get to right now, or things that are, the shelves are bare right now. But we just wanted to tell you our things that helped us the most when we were in.
And if you're gonna go in like hotels and stuff, meet up with friends on the west coast of Florida or in North Carolina, South Carolina inland, ask them to bring stuff. Don't be afraid. Say, do you have this? Bring out, and if you have a box of pictures or photos, bring the box in your car.
It's because
bring your hard drives, external hard drives. Bring everything you can bring.
That was the scariest part, because we were in an apartment and we weren't allowed to put anything on our windows.
If you're not allowed to put any shutters on your windows, and if you're on the coast, put boards up. Don't listen to them.
Well, we didn't have to, and we were okay, but we were only a category 2, and it was a lot of wind. I'm telling you, our apartment we were on the second floor.
It was shaking.
It was made out of concrete, and we were going like this.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was like the windows were going boom, boom. They were sucking in like this. I was like, we were away from the windows. We were in the bathroom, and it was...
Bathtub was gurgling. The toilet was going like this. I was like, oh!
And if you think tape is going to hold your windows, it's going to
Do not do that.
Tape is just a myth. It does nothing for your windows.
Do not do that. If it does break, it will just create bigger shards of glass.
Bigger shards of glass. Don't tape your windows. Take the tape off your windows.
That is a definite myth that people try to tell you. We've done it in the past, and we were stupid.
If you want to put like a sofa up against your front door, lock it in. That might help. I mean,
if it swings in or something.
Anything big that you can put your car sideways in front of your garage. That'll help your garage from blowing in, because I see a lot of garages blown right in. If you can take your car and put it in the garage for safety, you can put a tire between your garage door and your bumper and just touch it. Put a little bit of pressure, not much pressure, because it's going to break it. Just a little bit of pressure from your door, so this way it can't blow and it's going to hit that car. And
if you have a 2-story house, do not be on the second story.
Don't get downstairs.
Find a bathroom or inside area, like a laundry room or bathroom.
And if you got two-way radios of any kind, give one to your neighbor, so you guys can communicate back and forth. If it gets really bad, you can always give it to your neighbor, because if someone gets hurt, they can go back and forth.
And if you have a big enough house, why not invite your neighbor over and everybody stay together? And
yes, everybody stay together on the bigger, the better house, not the wood frame. Concrete block with shutters. Let them.
We did that with the first storm. We all went to Naples, and Joe's family. They all went to Naples with us.
Yep, we all stayed together.
And we didn't have the girls at that point. And Ross and I were very, very young, and we had just met at that point. So it was a very scary situation for both of us.
Yep.
All right, peeps. Now that we've scared the beans out of you,
hopefully this is going to be good, and hopefully everything will be fine. Most of the time, everything's fine. So we just want to prepare you ahead of time to leave if you had to. And, well, stay safe, guys, right?
Stay safe, and I hope all of our family stays safe. We have a lot of family and friends down there, and you guys are in our thoughts and prayers.